Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day guys and welcome to episode 110 of All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast. We've got a massive episode lined up for you today. We're going to hear from Tyson, the man behind Want to Fish Charters. He's down in the southeast. He's down at Port Mac. He's smashing the barrels roadie, and it's going to be great to have a chat with him about all things fishing as well as the recent Port Mac comp.
Dizzy, that was like a full monologue before you sort of welcomed me to the show. You went for like a minute and a half.
You looked busy about to crack a beer.
I was just getting my Cooper's Mild Ale ready to go, yes. But yeah, thanks, Diz, for the long introduction. But yes, 110, we're ticking over the episodes now.
Yeah, we are. We've made the ton. That was good. We've got our eye in after the 100. We're sort of settling in now on our way to 150.
All right, Diz, let's keep moving straight into our oranges and lemons because we've got a lot to get through tonight.
We do. Righto, Roddy, I'll give you the orange. I was at the Port Hawks game and it was a lemon for about
3.5 quarters.
Yeah, 3.5 quarters comfortably. And the last half of the last quarter was spectacular.
Dizzy, it was amazing. One that we were in Melbourne for my sister's 30th, so weren't able to get there. Flew in at about half time, got home during the third quarter and settled in. Was thinking I hadn't really missed much by not getting to the game live until the last 45 seconds.
Yeah.
When he kicked that goal, I jumped. Just about hit the roof. Lil was terrified. She didn't know what had just happened.
Yeah, I bet she did. It was electric.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. There was just basically everything had to go right, and it did. It did one way or another. Willie's goal late in the last just snuck that in. A lot of people were thinking that might have hit the post. Had a good view of it.
Ooh, straight in?
Yeah, well, it was just in. But anyway, everything went right. It was very exciting being there at the game, but it was good. You take those points, I think.
You certainly do, Diz. Now, I'm going to go with the June long weekends coming up, and we're going to head over to York. Still a bit of fishing over there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we're even going to get out, I think, the weekend before that and hopefully get up the river, Diz.
Yes.
So we've got a couple of weekends away coming up, so it's always good to have something or a couple of things to look forward to, Diz. So we're going to do a bit of camping on that first weekend in June and then over to York Peninsula fishing for the long weekend, Diz. So a couple of things for us to look forward to and a bit for us to talk about hopefully there, Diz.
Good call, Rhodey. We love that. I'll roll that straight into the lemon. It's, of course, been the Keyboard Warriors. Rhodey?
Yeah, Diz, we are going to touch on the results of our fishing licence survey in a little bit, but...
We probably sound a bit salty saying all that. The poor wrecked fish people have been copping it from these sads the whole time.
and now
they've turned on us.
Anyway, Diz, we thought it was quite a neutral, unbiased survey. We just put a few yes or no type questions. We were very particular about how we worded things to not make it one way or the other, but you cannot win with some of these people, Diz.
No, you can't. You can't. Somehow all of a sudden we're supposedly just... spreading absolute garbage and reflective of the whole population, even though we never said we were reflective of the whole population.
And like having a go at us about how the survey results came out.
Yes.
We didn't fill out the survey once. We just produced the survey.
Yeah, there's big words in there from certain people. The faceless man. But no, it's been good fun, Rhodey, I think, all in all. I'm glad we can have a lighthearted joke about it. I don't particularly like anybody using rude words on social media and slapping away on their keyboard, making outlandish comments towards one another. These guys seem to get off on it.
Oh, mate, they're full on, aren't they? It's almost comical, really, isn't it?
It is. It's quite funny. You must think about how sad their lives really are. Anyway, Rhodey, let's move on to your lemon.
Dizzy, I'm going to say...
This is going to be pretty boring.
Yeah, it is. Compared to that, that was a real up and this is a down. The weather is here. It is cold.
Oh,
winter's here, I mean.
How boring is that lemon? It is cold, though.
Oh,
I'll give you that.
Nights have been cold. Melbourne on the weekend was icy.
Was it? Did the sun come out?
Oh, once or twice, but was cold.
Yeah.
Anyway, It's cold when we come back to Adelaide. It is cold. Winter is here. And Dizzy, I'm going to run straight into the merch. We have beanies. I wore mine in Melbourne.
Oh, good call.
It was bloody excellent. Everyone was jealous.
Yeah, did you get a few orders out of it?
Yeah, a couple, mate. Actually, Dad reckons his hats, he needs a new hat, so we need to remember to send that one over.
You telling him the price has gone up to $200 or something?
Yeah, I did say we offer a mate's rates, which is an additional $5.
Yeah, beautiful. That sounds great.
But yes, we do have caps, we do have beanies. Get in contact if you want something to keep your head warm over the winter months.
Good from you. Love that, Rhodey. Let's get into the news. We've got a lot happening.
Rhodey and Diz have been searching far and wide to bring you the latest news across all fishing in the state, and we'll give you the rundown on what you need to know.
Rhodey, give us a rundown of one of the most biased surveys I've ever seen in my life.
All right, Diz, we're not going to go into the full depths of the survey because we'll get abused if we're not careful. But basically, the main question we asked is, are you a yes for a fishing licence in SA or a no opposing it? 66.03% said yes.
Yes.
So 311 out of the 471 in total are for a fishing licence, Diz, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think we certainly knew that putting this out for our listeners, there was going to be a possible bias towards it.
I think it's fair to say probably people that listen to this podcast are those that are more into fishing. Mm-hmm. They might be the ones that fish a bit more regularly and are willing to spend a bit more money on it.
Yep.
We're probably not so much getting you once a year anglers.
No.
Whereas maybe some of those advertiser type, Channel 9 type, wider surveys capture more of your everyday people that may not even fish.
Oh, you mean the surveys that put it out to the general public and the ones that won't be asked to pay for a license?
Those ones, exactly right.
Oh, right, yeah. That's great if we get their opinion on whether they should pay for a license that they're not going to be asked to pay for.
So anyway, and the other sort of take-home message was that most people, 54.35% of those who said yes, thought that $26 to $50 is about right.
Yeah.
So that in my head, I've always been working on like $40 or $50 for a year.
Yeah, and I think, look, there's been some great comments on there. We've acknowledged that some of the questions and the way we asked them in the survey weren't great.
Yeah, look, this is not our day job either.
Nah, that's true.
Like, we're not sitting down for like 8 hours a day nutting this out.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got kids, we've got families, like we've got other commitments too.
But it was interesting because, I think a lot of the comments have focused around, well, yes, in principle, but what happens to the money? And that's something that we've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting. Clearly we don't think that this is going, this may or may not be a possibility in the future. Who knows? Quite frankly, who cares? But it is interesting to see the results of people who are happy to support it, or those that were happy to support it were happy to around that dollar amount.
Yeah, and you're right, Diz, a lot of the written comments were about like, yes, I agree with a license, but the money needs to go back into fishing, back into boat ramps. The question around what would you like your money spent on, there was a really even spread. Yeah. A lot of people answered all of the above, so they want the money to be spent on a variety of different areas.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the other question that we had was around where do you do most of your fishing? We had a lot of boat fishers. We also had a lot that said they do boat, land-based and freshwater.
Yeah.
So there was a lot in all those categories. It was a pretty even spread, really.
Yeah.
So it was, 471, I think, is enough to get a pretty good gauge. We weren't claiming that we'd done a census of every South Australian household, but it's enough to get a vibe of what our listeners and anyone else that chose to submit the survey, what they thought.
Very good. Well done, Rhodey. We love that. Good little wrap up from you. Let's get into the Port Mac Fishing Comp was run from the 4th to the 11th of May. We're going to have a great chat with Tyce, who was fishing and in fact did fish all 7 days. So
8 days, I think.
Oh, all 8 days. Okay, there
Saturday
you go.
Saturday to Saturday.
So we're going to have a chat with him, and we'll get what we will probably describe a little bit later on as an emotional roller coaster of the week that was for Tyson.
Yeah, we'll park that one, Diz, because that's going to be discussed in depth coming up.
Yeah, Rhodey, tell us, mate. There's free boat ramp fees.
They have, Diz. This is coming from Port, Broughton and Fisherman Bay boat ramps. Are going to come in as as free for boaties to use this. So the Barunga West Council has acted in response to community feedback, and the launching fee has been waived, Diz.
Yeah, it's excellent news, Rhodey. There seems to have been a lot of advocacy work done in that area to quite possibly explain to the council the benefit that those local boat ramps do bring to the community. We know that as rec fishers, that usually when you're visiting those towns, you spend money at the petrol station, you spend money at the hotel, etc., etc. We know how much now that the rec fishing community bring to the economy more broadly. So I think some of that might be in recognition of that and some of the good advocacy work that rec fish has done.
Yeah, so that comes in from the 1st of July 2024. It'd be great to see this come further across the state. There's more sort of councils getting on board, and we would love one day to have no boat ramp fees all across the state.
Good call. Love it. Rhodey, the Australian Salmon Fishing Competition is going to kick off on the 1st of June. It wraps up on the 31st of August. This is the 30th time that the comp has been run. We do cover off this comp in years gone by in our podcast, Rhodey, but this is basically where there's prizes for heaviest, second heaviest, third heaviest, and there's monthly photo competitions to be won. It's a great one to be involved in, especially if you're down that way fishing for salmon.
Yeah, Diz, it's a great competition. This one runs for 3 months, June, July, and August. $2,000 for the heaviest fish. It's one of those ones, Diz, you can catch any fish anywhere from Sharinga to Mount Camel. You can weigh them in at Elliston Caravan Park, and that's also, so you need your entry ticket to weigh in, Diz. It's $10 to enter. It's very affordable, so you get your tickets from the Elliston Information Centre, the Elliston Hotel, the Waterloo Bay Caravan Park, the Elliston Caravan Park, the Venus Bay General Store, or the Sharinga Roadhouse. So there's a lot of places where you can sign up to enter. And obviously, Diz, running across that whole winter period, you don't have to be free on a particular weekend to enter. It's really inclusive. Anyone can go over to the West Coast and get involved.
It's great, Roddy. You're right. It's another great initiative from the crew down there that run this comp. Certainly supports a lot of local businesses. A lot of local businesses also sponsor the comp, which makes it possible year on year. But it's a great one that we like following along. We can obviously always give you some updates on who's catching what fish, when and why, because they're great at posting it all over their socials, aren't they, Roddy?
They are, Diz, so we'll keep an eye on that one over the months to come.
Very good, Roddy. Tell us about the cod pods.
Diz, so there's a deployment day coming up. So Tuesday, May 28th, it's due to start at 10 a.m. Recfish SA are hosting down at Happy Valley. So this is a part of the Murray Cod Monitoring Program. It's in partnership between Recfish SA, SA Water, Oz Ocean and Pembroke School. So these are those pods that we've talked about. I think the Pembroke students have been quite involved in putting them together potentially and doing some of the work behind it. So it's great getting kids involved in this sort of stuff.
Yep.
And they were those barrels that we talked about that they're going to put in there. I think Oz Ocean are involved in the cameras, so you can live stream potentially in the future, Diz.
Yep. And
the plan is that they may even be able to get some footage of cod breeding habits.
Oh, wow.
So that will be revolutionary, Diz, and it'll be really interesting to see where that goes. So it's next Tuesday, the 28th. I might just pop down on my lunch break. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. So that'll be on your lunch break, and then you'll just be watching the live feed from there on in.
Yeah, we've already talked about that. That's going to be my screensaver going forward.
Good call. Love that. All right,
and after being there recently, I did have concerns about the water clarity, but it was looking beautiful and clear.
There you go.
The other day, so I reckon we'll get some good footage.
Very good. Nice one, mate. Okay, Rhodey, we've been talking about the Recfish forums.
We have, Diz, and there's been a date change. So similar to the Port Lincoln event that changed days due to public sort of feedback, the Renmark Hotel Fishers Forum has been changed. It was originally due on Saturday the 20th of July, but it's now going to be held on Friday the 19th of July. So maybe Friday's a better time for the local community to get along. No footy prezos, anything like that.
Yeah, good call. Love that. It's good to see that the community have got involved, given their feedback through to Recfish, and they've responded accordingly, which is great.
Yep.
So there's those forums are going to be really informative.
Yeah, they will.
If you can't get there, you want to be part of the live stream.
Yep. So the Mount Gambier one's been completed. So we'll ask Tice about that in a minute. The next two are at Port Lincoln on the 20th of June and Whyalla on the 21st of June. And then, as I said, the last one's at Redmark on the 19th of July.
Love it. Well done, Rody. Great little juicy news segment there.
Dizzy, that was a good one, wasn't it? Plenty in that for you to digest.
Love it, Rody. Let's get into the tackle item of the week.
Now it's time for Rody and Diz to really show you what it means to have all the gear with a lot of idea as they review a tackle item of the week.
Righto, Rody. This week we've got a lure as our tackle item of the week. Of course, we're talking about the best tuna lures in town. That's the Troll So Hard lures made by a friend of the show, Flacky. He is a sponsor of the Port Mac Comp, in which we're going to talk quite a bit about in the guest segment that's coming up very shortly after this. But as we say, Flacky is the man behind the Troll So Hard lures that do the damage on the schoolies, and they have been doing the absolute damage on the barrels down in the southeast with Tice, haven't they, Rody?
They have, Diz. So we are keenly tuned in to Tyson's Want to Fish charters on Facebook. And we just keep seeing the Troll So Hard lures, the 8.5-inch invert, the white bait mistake colour combination, Diz.
Yes. So there is a bit of a backstory here.
I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast or was that a private chat with Flacky?
I don't know.
I think we're going to run with it anyway, though, are we?
We'll run with it. Flacky would be able to tell the story better, so let's hope it was covered off on the podcast. But I think this might have been a particular order that Tice put in and wanted to get a particular colour, and somehow or other the wrong colour arrived, whether that was a mistake on Flacky's behalf or the supplier's behalf. Sure enough, he put the lure together, and now would you look at it, it's done the damage on heaps of barrels.
So, Diz, it's a good story there about how the mistake lure or colour came to be. Whatever the story is, it works.
Yeah, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, we don't actually care how it happened, Flacky. Just keep making them.
I don't care what name it has. I don't really care about anything. We're going to hear from Tyson later, and he'll be telling you about some mayhem on his boat that will get you absolutely razzed up if you're not already about getting down to the southeast and getting onto a barrel.
All right, Dizzy, that sounds like that probably leads into our guest. Should we get on with that?
Of course we should.
Now it's time to get our guest on the line. We'll ask them the all-important 5 questions, then chat all things fishing in SA.
All right, Dizzy, we have Tyson Kain, the man behind Want to Fish. We're going to chat all things barrel fishing in the southeast, the Port MacDonnell fishing comp that's just wrapped up. Tyson, welcome to the show.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me back again.
Thank you for coming on, Tice. Of course, the official barrel whisperer of the southeast. Absolutely smashing it, mate. It's been, for anybody who follows you on their socials, they'll know how well you've been doing. Just ticked over 30 barrels, and we can't wait to have a great chat with you about it all. We were just saying earlier, we won't run through those 5 questions. For anybody who's been listening, they'll know that you've been on our podcast before, but Tice, give us a bit of a rundown, mate. If you think about the last month or so, what's been your best fish?
Well, I reckon by far most memorable fish in the last month or so is going to have to be Caleb Murray's 85-kilo barrel we got the other day. If anyone doesn't know him or doesn't follow your socials or mine, he is completely blind. And, he done an absolutely fantastic job to get one of these fish. He's been trying for a few years now. I think this was his 4th trip. And, it was pretty bloody special to tick that box off for him, that's for sure.
That's epic. We did share that one, and I suppose, Diz, when we first spoke to him probably 2 or 3 years ago, you sort of think, he's legally blind, he can't see much. But when we met him in person at the boat show, he can't see anything. It would be an amazing challenge for him to catch that sort of fish. Can you tell us about sort of what he had to overcome and how you had to make it work for him?
Yeah, obviously, like the weather was not ideal that day, and I actually messaged him, a day or two before and said, "Look, it's going to be a little bit untidy out there, looking at 3 metre plus seas and 15, 20 knot winds. How are you going to go?" And his reply was, "Yeah, I'll be fine. My mate Nathan that comes with me, though, he might get a little bit crook, but I'll be no worry." And I went, "Okay, if you're confident, let's do it." So yeah, we obviously had that obstacle with a bit of untidy weather, but it did not faze him at all. He is really remarkable out on the water. We punched around all day looking for him. Sort of around lunchtime, I said to him, "I reckon around lunchtime it's going to happen." And yeah, sure enough, it was about 12:30. Found a nice little workup, went through. As soon as we hooked up, I said, "Yep, we're on." I left it in gear for a little bit to keep that hook set in, and before I could get it out of gear and down the back, he was already up at the rod holding onto it, ready to go.
Far out.
Like, it's just amazing. He could hear what rod it was and went straight to it. He was there, ready to go. We already had a harness on him. We literally said, "Right, here we go. I'll chuck you straight on." I actually had a young girl from our club that's wanting to get some sea time up. That she's doing her coxswains at the moment and need a bit of sea time. So I said she could come for a run with us. And yeah, she was great help. Young Georgia Barrett. She's a bit of a gun actually, fisho. And yeah, we brought everything in. He's jumped on the rod, and from there, the only really thing different I had to do is obviously he can't see where the line's running, so he was just at the side of the boat, pointing the rod out and winding, and I just manoeuvred the boat so that he was always pointing at where the fish was.
Far out. That is absolutely amazing. What a great insight it must have been to be out there. We have had him on the socials, and like Rhodey said, we've met him. He's an incredible person, but I bet that was a massive bucket list thing for him to be able to tick off. Like, he's done a lot in fishing, but that would have to be up there with one of the best days, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, he's been chasing it for a while, and yeah, to get that hook up. And he actually said to me in the morning on the way out, he said, "You know what, I've been fishing so many times," he said, "but I actually woke up with that nervous, anxious feeling this morning about it." And he said that on the way out. He's like, "I feel like this is the day and it's going to happen." Like, I was actually nervous about what was going to unfold, and sure enough, he was right. It all came together. And to knock it over in 25 minutes, was just unreal. Just the fish just played beautifully to how we wanted, come up, and yeah.
Bang. Amazing.
Beautiful. Well, that's an epic fish, no doubt about that. And congratulations on getting a great fish on, a great man onto a big barrel.
No, thank you guys. It was definitely one I won't forget ever.
Now, before we move on from that, did the person who went out with him, Nathan, did he get sick?
Yes, he did. We did keep going for a little bit longer after, and it was his turn next. And after probably about another hour or so, we made the decision that he, probably rather come in than fight a barrel. So next trip, he's going on first for sure.
There you go.
He'll need to meet a good pharmacist too. Can I hook him up some meds, Dizzy?
We might need to send you down some anti-nausea tablets or something, mate. We'll sort him out. No, very good, Tyson. Now, mate, tell us, so in amongst all of the barrels, you've been flat out down there, mate. The Port Mac comp, no doubt, would have been fantastic for everybody involved to be seeing the fish come through at the time. Tell us about the comp in general before we get stuck into maybe some of the results.
Yeah, no, look, it was a great year for the comp. We had, around 150 entrants, which is pretty up there. I think it was at least another 20 or so up on last year, which was great to see so many people there. And for the first time in I don't know how long, we actually had 8 fishable days where everyone fished nearly every day. There was a few that didn't fish one of the days. It was a bit untidy, but I know I fished the full 8 days, which is, sort of unheard of. And a lot of the boys that come down, that like to do a bit, just as much drinking as fishing, were a bit disappointed that there wasn't any lay days. So everyone hopes for the Thursday to be a rough one after the fellowship night on the Wednesday night. But yeah, I think this year the fellowship night wrapped up the earliest it ever did at about 9:30 because everyone was going fishing the next day.
There you go.
Beautiful. So that was a couple of weeks ago. That was, wasn't it, Tyson, amongst the good weather by the sounds?
Yeah, it was from the 4th to the 11th of May is when it runs, Saturday through to Saturday.
And just tell us a bit about the format. So it's not just tuna, it's a bit of everything?
Yeah. So it's all species, all GFAA, IGFA species, and we also have some of our own local species which count towards points as well. Say like your garfish and whiting and salmon, that on them days where it is a bit rougher, you can choose to fish inside the breakwater and still accumulate points towards your boat tally or your own personal score as well. So there's a huge range of prizes and different categories, from all your line classes on tuna, heaviest sharks, most meritorious shark. The list goes on. There really is an abundance of prizes that can be won, and it just opens it up to so much more fishing than just tuna.
Yeah, we've sort of, I think we have chatted about the comp before, but it sounds like a really great inclusive event that sort of gets everybody involved, whether you're there for a few days, there for the full time, want to do inshore fishing, offshore fishing, the whole works. And it must be a huge buzz around the town. Just looking through the events, Monday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Saturday night, there must be just so much going on in the town for the week.
Yeah, definitely. It just so happens most years that it falls on the same week that Generations in Jazz is in Mount Gambier too.
Yeah,
so
right.
The place down here in the southeast is just a buzz for that week anyways. But yeah, there is. We try, and the pizzeria down here, they support us, the pub support us, the footy club. So we try and support them back as well by, having a night where we all go to the pizzeria and a night where we all go to the pub, and, just support some of our, loyal sponsors that we have.
Beautiful, Tyson. Now, can you tell us about how you went on your own boat yourself, and you and your team?
Yeah. So first day, I actually had my two daughters fish with me, who are only 7 and 9. So they were pretty pumped up and keen to go, and we had the shotgun start, which I told them, I think you better sit down, girls, and hang on, because we're going to put a stamp on it and send it here. And yeah, we did. There was me and another couple of boats that were leading the pack out, that's for sure. And yeah, so they fished me the first day. We busted it all day to try and get a hook up. Finally got one in the afternoon on a 60 kilo fish, which was a bit of a challenge with the two kids on board. Yeah. But yeah, we did manage to successfully tag and release a 60 kilo tuna on the first day.
Is that their biggest fish, the girls?
No, they've been on with me a few times before when we've caught bigger. So when I got it up, they went, "Oh, that's only a little one, Dad." I said, "Yeah, it's okay. I know. You don't need to rub it in."
Roddy, would that be your biggest tuna? Just to be clear, comfortably. Just how old are they again, Ty? 7 and 9. How's that make you feel, Roddy?
Yeah, 7 and 9. Yeah. Very good. So, anyways, that was day one. Day two was pretty quiet. We fished again all day for barrels and didn't manage a hook up. It was pretty quiet. There was a few hooked up, I think, but not any for me. Day three, I had Flacky from Troll So Hard and another good mate, Steely, come down and fish with me. That was Monday. Again, we didn't get connected that day. That was probably the roughest day for the week, I reckon. A few people did stay home, but we battled the elements, but for no success. Day four, which is Tuesday, we pushed right down to the border and then managed to tag and release another 60 kilo fish that day when there wasn't too many caught, I don't think, that day either. Day five, seen us somehow miraculously. It was their last day fishing with me, and some reason the mood that morning was just different between us. We decided that we were going to have a bit of a retro 90s morning and crank some old tunes. Seen Steely pulling out some dance moves out the back to a bit of Shania Twain, and a bit of Backstreet Boys' "I Want It My Way" was playing, and Flacky actually put up on his story, he was singing "I Want It My Way," but instead of that he was singing "I Want a Three-Way Barrel Hookup." put that on his Snapchat story. Sure enough, about a half an hour later, triple hookup with only three of us on the boat. Which was pandemonium at the time, having 3 on with 3 blokes. I think about 10 minutes into it, once we cleared the rods and everyone's grabbed one, we all looked at each other and went, "So who's grabbing the harnesses and the gimbals?" And I think it was probably 45 minutes all up, I reckon, and we managed to successfully capture all 3.
Oh, wow. It's a huge effort.
Yeah, it was. It was Flacky up the front, me and Steely at the back. I went around the boat 3 times, I think. It was all happening. We kept their 2 boys fish, and I tagged and released mine. It was about 75, I reckon.
Yeah, wow.
And, so Flacky's fish actually ended up taking out the 60-kilo line class in the end, because that's what we were running, all 60-kilo line. And then that was, pretty good day. I think we were home by lunch that day. We said, all right, that should do us.
Ticked it off.
The next day, I took the kids out again and the missus, and, we tried to do some bottom fishing. That was terrible. Tried for a barrel again, no good. We called it a day on the Friday, which was definitely the heartbreak day for me. Took another mate, Tom Brown, come out with me for a run. We got a hook up just before lunch, and after a 2.5-hour battle on 17 kilos of drag and holding the spool, I lost an absolute monster, probably around that 140, 150 kilo mark, I reckon.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It was a beast of a fish. I was never experienced a fight like that ever before, where we had him to the boat 4 times, and no matter what I'd done when he wanted to go, he just went. We had him 5 metres under the boat. He decided to turn, shake his head, and pulled the hooks.
Geez, heartbreaker, that one.
That was a heartbreaker, and then I moped my way back to where the action was, and then we had another fish come up and take the short corner. We actually seen it hit it, took 10 metres of drag, and then spat the hook again.
Oh, no,
so,
far out.
Yes, very, very devastating day the Friday, and then I went home and sucked about it all night. And woke up early, dedicated in the morning on Saturday for the last day, which was a half day. We left in the dark and steamed for probably a good hour, I reckon, nearly to get out to where I wanted to go. And we put 2 rods in. We pulled up, there was a bunch of seals, no bird action, no nothing. I went, I've been given a tip that this area was going pretty good. Hadn't been there for a while. And, put 2 rods in, was putting the 3rd out, and that absolutely started screaming line. And I just turned around and went, holy shit, right, we're on here. And, ended up getting that one in, and I had it on the lip grips. And at the time, I was contemplating whether to tag and release or whether to keep it, because I was pretty close in the tag and release points to win that. But then I seen the size of the fish, and it was looking like it could have been the biggest for the comp. So I actually towed it around for 10 minutes, keeping it live and going until I actually decided what I was going to do with it. And I think I made the right decision by bringing it on board, because that ended up coming in clean 91.5 and did take out biggest fish for the comp. So
bang, there you go. So you nailed it. How good.
Nailed it on the last day.
Far out. That's an emotional roller coaster we've just been through there, Rhodey. Couple of quiet days, couple of bit of pandemonium.
We feel like we've been there, lived it and done it all.
It was definitely a very full-on week, but a great week.
So biggest fish, and you could have got one that was much bigger. Is that the big prize for the week? Is that what people want to win, the biggest tuna?
That's one of the 2 sort of major prizes. The main one is most meritorious, which was taken out by Ryan McLaughlin, a fella from Melbourne, which was an outstanding catch, which was it was a fraction bigger than mine by 100 grams. It was 91.6, but it was on 15 kilogram line class. Wow. So for people who don't understand how most meritorious works, there's a formula where it's weight of your fish times by 100 divided by the line class, I believe, or something around that, which gives you so much points with that formula. And so with our competition, it's 1 prize, 1 fish. So you can only win 1 prize for the fish. So his was actually the largest overall, and was actually the largest on 15 kilo line class, but the most meritorious prize takes
priority
over.
Sort of thing.
So you win the best prize you can for your fish. So he took that out, and I was 91.5, just under, and that was heaviest tuna.
Beautiful. And I know there's a lot of other prizes. You weren't able to get one of your daughters on the juniors or anything like that?
Well, no, she was cool. My 9-year-old, who just lives and breathes fishing, Scarlett, she was quite disheartened and a bit disappointed on the Saturday night because she knew she didn't get to weigh any fish in because she had done 3 days in the comp with me, but, 2.5 of them days were dedicated to try and get barrels.
Yeah.
And she didn't get a shot. And then the day we did fish the bottom, it was just terrible, no good, and we didn't actually get anything from the weigh in. So, yeah, but she did manage to win one of the raffles on the Wednesday night and won a brand new Tiagra 30.
Oh, not complaining there.
Nah, not complaining there, and much to her disgust, it's already on the boat. I actually, done a drag in on my Tiger 30 that I had on the boat, so I said, well, guess what? I need to borrow it.
Yeah, that's right.
I take you out, so you share your gear.
Yeah.
That's right.
You'll just warm it up.
Yeah, and then on the Saturday night as well, she had a cracker week on raffles. On the Saturday night, obviously our major prize for the competition used to be a dinghy and outboard package, which we went down the path a few years ago now of if you're entered in the competition, you get an event ticket. On the Saturday night, you bring your event ticket, it goes in the bucket, and the winner gets drawn out of that. That's who wins the actual major prize. So it's basically a raffle. But this year we went away from that idea and actually went with $5,000 cash. So that was a bit of a different thing this year, but it was well received by nearly everyone, I think. And then we also did a junior raffle as well for the juniors in the comp. And sure enough, Scarlett won that one. So
everyone's probably yelling out, "Rig! She's won one already!"
Yeah, that was what happened on the Wednesday night too, when I had to go up and receive her 30 wide because that was the day we had the triple hook up, and everyone was like, the triple hook up for the day and wins a 30 wide as well.
How good.
Beautiful. Well, it sounds like it was a very successful week. How does it go down compared to other years in, how many fish were caught, sort of variety of species, things like that?
Yeah, no, it was on par with most years. There wasn't a huge amount of barrels sort of caught. There was definitely plenty, and there was a fair few that were tagged and released as well, which was great to see. The bottom fishing was a little bit slower this year, which I believe is sort of a bit of effect from the Bonnie upwelling that seems to have caused havoc up at Big Harbour and that over the summer, as we all know. And I think there's some sort of effects from that down here too. So, but there was still some great captures through the week. There was a 119 kilogram mako shark, which I think was on 15 kilo line class.
Jeez.
Another fella, Kevin McLaughlin, who is just an absolute gun. He actually took out champion angler for the whole comp, which is no surprise when he's landing, a 13.5 school shark on 1 kilo line, which is a record. Yeah,
that's taking the piss, really, isn't it?
He's an absolute wizard. He holds the world record for, I think it was just under 30 kilogram school shark on 2 kilos.
Oh, that's nuts.
Oh, wow.
Like him and his decky and boat driver Marcus are just absolute wizards on this light line stuff. Like, I can't even tie 1 kilo line.
They're out there using bloody dental floss.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was another. He had another one as well, another pending record, a 28 kilo mako on 2 kilo line.
Wow.
Oh, it's far out.
Right.
That's unbelievable.
It's great fishing to be able to do that.
Yeah, wow. Sounds like it was an epic week, Tice. Now, we're going to talk a bit generally about your fishing down in the southeast. You talked about the Bonnie upwelling, that causing a bit of havoc, is it?
Yeah, it has sort of on the bottom fishing, I believe. It's been pretty slow with the bottom species. They're hard to bite at times. You do have some good days, but they've been pretty hit and miss compared to normal. And a lot of people in the comp did find that they go to their spots where you normally get you might get your nanny guy and you might get snapper and terraki and knife jaw and just your general fish species were a little bit harder to come by this year.
And is that to do with the colder water or the murky water, or what's the theory?
My theory is the water has been a bit colder, but also the upwelling brings nutrient-rich water up off the shelf. So I believe that the fish are down there filter feeding on the nutrients in the water.
So they're not really eating as such. Yeah,
they're not eating as such. It's not a bad thing. It is when you're trying to catch them, but for the future, they're going to be really well fed up, and it's going to help a lot. And I think so far it's seen a lot more bait fish here this year for tuna fishing. The size of the bait schools on the bottom we're seeing is just crazy.
And so it's been a good year on the barrels overall. You said you've got 30. How many did you catch last year? How are you tracking?
I was around 53 last year for the season, so I'm tracking along pretty good so far.
And you'd expect the season, to go for the next 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Normally we do get a little bit of a break in the middle. Generally they tend to sort of go up the east coast or just go find other bait to keep feeding on. But I was thinking, or not thinking, but a strong feeling that they may hang around a little bit longer through the middle this year, and we may see the fish, sort of be here all winter through to that August, September.
It sounds like everybody who's listening out there needs to get in touch with you, mate, and make a booking to get down there and get a fish of a lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. At the moment, they are here in good numbers. The bait's here in good numbers. I can't see them wanting to go anywhere else anytime soon.
Well, that sounds good for us, Diz, because we've got to book in our trip. Now, I did see on the social media side of things, you've partnered with Tuna Champions Ties. Can you tell us a bit about that and how you've sort of put some of that into practice?
Yeah, definitely. I got in contact with Indy at Tuna Champions, and we spoke for a while about it. They sort of just asked about my practices with tuna, how I like to care for them, dispatch them, all that sort of stuff, releasing. And they turned around and said, look, you're a perfect candidate for a golden charter operator. So after a bit of backwards and forwards, we sorted that out and signed up with them as a golden charter operator, which means that my practices in how I handle, care for, and also release tuna is the best that there can be.
And I know, like a lot of the Tuna Champions has done a great job at spreading the message, and a lot of that spread, wide and far about how much ice you need and the best way of looking after their fish. Something new I saw on your boat on your social media was those big lip grips. Can you tell us about them? They look really good.
Yes, they're a game changer when it comes to releasing fish. They are unreal. They actually, she asked me if I had some of them, and I said no, I unfortunately didn't. They are a bit pricey. You're looking around $500 for a set, and I hadn't purchased any. And she actually reached into her bag at the Victor Comp and said, "Here you go, take these, put them to good use. I just want, I want some proof of it, and I want some videos." And I said, "Not a problem. I'll get that done for you." And I think it was in the first week of getting back here from up at Warina that I was sending her videos going, "How's this?" And she's like, "Oh my God, that's fantastic." So they really have been a game changer in releasing fish for sure. They're just so durable. The ones that we use, you can't break them. I've had 100-kilo fish hanging off of them trying to get off, and they just will not open. They do everything you need them to do.
Mate, how good. Have you got a big float attached to the back of them? At $500, you wouldn't want to see them go down to the bottom.
I've got a lanyard that's connected to it, and I'm glad I did, because that fish I got on the last day of the comp, then, it was a bit over 100 kilos. I was holding onto that and sort of in my own world trying to decide, and it was kicking and actually did rip them out of my hands. And I was so thankful that I put a lanyard on it to my wrist, because I had to very quickly grab back on the handle.
Yeah, very good. Love it, love it. Now, mate, Tyce, before we let you go, we've been talking a bit on previous episodes about the wrecked fish forums. There was one recently down in Mount Gambier. We know you were busy getting people onto the fish on the day and couldn't make it, but there must have been a bit of word around town about how that went. Was it well received, good turnout, that sort of thing? Have you heard anything on the grapevine? Yeah,
well, Asher actually was here for the comp on the last night, on the presentation night, so he actually got up and had a bit of a talk in front of everyone. I got to have a little bit of a chat with him too. And it seems he's really, really pushing for things that we really need down here. And I think there was a pretty decent turnout, and everyone that I spoke to so far that went there had some, brought some good stuff away from it. And he really just wants to know the key things that we want down here, which I think off the top of my head, the main things everyone's saying is stainless steel bench tops on our filleting areas, possibly even a shelter over it, a public gantry for people to use, and just stuff like that, the main issues, which he said that's what he wants to know so he can focus on them things and sort of get the people what they want.
Beautiful. Well, that's good that you are getting your message across. You're getting the right people who need to know what the public want to represent us as best they can. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, 100%. No, he's doing some great things for recreational fishing, and obviously charter fishing falls into that category as well as a commercial side of things, because basically we're a commercial, but we are doing recreational fishing just with people paying us to take them and go do it. So it's in our benefit as well to sort of work side by side with them, I think. And yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Tice, that's been really good to hear about the fishing comp down at Port MacDonnell, the barrel season in the southeast. How you going with the excellent charter, Want to Fish? Sounds like you're having a great year, and there's plenty more fish to come if people want to head on and get on a charter. Yeah,
definitely. I think there's some great fishing still to be had, and I've got some spots still coming up. So, yeah, anyone interested, get in contact with me.
Love it, mate. Keep up the great work. We'll chat to you soon.
No worries, guys. Thank you.
All right, guys, that was very good to hear the down low on the Port MacDonnell fishing comp, fishing in the southeast in general, and all things Want to Fish. Diz?
If that doesn't get you excited to get down to the southeast to chase a barrel or book yourself in a little week's holiday down there next year for the comp, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I don't know, Diz, but we should get the dates for next year and have a good hard think about that one.
Good call, mate. All right, let's get stuck into the fishing report.
Rhodey and Diz have been out on the water to bring you the news about where they're biting. Now it's time for the fishing report.
All right, Rhodey, I think we've covered off enough about where the barrels are. We've heard from Tice. We know that they're down in Port Mac. You may or may not have a boat equipped to get down there and chase them. If you don't, you haven't been down those parts, Want to Fish Charters is the guy Tyson is the man to get in touch with to book yourself a charter and get onto them down there. It's a great day out with Tyson. We've been out with him a couple of times. Of course, anybody who's watched or listened to the podcast over the years would know that he spends the summer down here out of Warina, and then he heads down to the southeast and chases the big tuna when they arrive. So it's been great to see him getting onto heaps, Rhodey, and we don't need to cover off any more of that in the fishing report. The winter whiting have started, Rhodey. They are reporting very good catches out of North Haven, West Beach and Osal. I know someone who spends a fair bit of time down at West Beach, and they've been doing well.
Beautiful, Diz. Well, that's something we said after last year we were going to do a bit more of. We did go out of North Haven probably twice, and we did okay. Didn't bag out, but I think we might have got 6 one day and a dozen the other or something like that.
Yeah, no, we had a couple of decent mornings. It was lovely weather those 2 mornings we went out, so that always made it worthwhile. It was cold though.
It was cold, and I know this time of year, Brighton, they often get them, so I'd be keen to give that a go in the next couple of months too.
Yep, good call.
But it is always nice this time of year when you can get a good feed of whiting in shallow water off Metro.
Yeah, good call.
Makes it easy, doesn't it, when you're not giving up a whole day?
Yeah, it does. If you can just drop down there a couple of hours, fish around a tide or fish the time you want.
The other thing that's good at the moment is we've been doing well on the squid over on Yorks. Sounds like there's plenty of squid Metro. So if you could go out Metro, get squid and whiting, you would not be saying no to that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. All right, Rhodey, let's move on from that, mate. I've heard the sword fishing off Port Augusta has been going well.
Yeah, did you see that photo? It was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
If you like sort of dry, washed up swordfish.
Yeah, it was interesting. Somebody's comment, wasn't it? It looks like it had been hooked.
Oh, wild claim there.
Very wild claim. I'm not sure that I could see that distinction. It looked like a decomposing body to me, which may have given the illusion that it was hooked. But nonetheless, it would have been amazing to see. It would have stunk, though.
What they say, 8 or 9 feet, so it's a big fish.
Yeah.
And it'd be, obviously we're never going to have any idea how it got there, how far it floated, where it came from, probably off the shelf. We know swordfish come from those deeper waters.
Yeah.
But Port Augusta is a long, long way from the shelf.
Yeah, it is.
So did the fish get lost, disorientated, end up in shallower waters and then die and wash up? How long had it floated for? It'd be amazing to know that story.
Yeah, you know who we need to talk to? Al McGlashan. He's our guy.
We do. He probably knows more about a live swordfish though.
No, he'd know. He'd know what happened to that one. Good good little question for you. Does anyone know whether the body of the fish was donated to Citizen Science?
I did see a few people commenting saying that it should be dropped off to the museum or something similar. So I'm not sure if it was, but
So
it was
nobody
suggested.
went down there with a hacksaw and knocked off the sword?
Well, I don't know, mate. What, you reckon they might have knocked off the sword and then taken a few cutlets home for the barbie?
Well, I'm not sure that would have taken home some rotting cutlets, but I reckon the actual sword component of it does, you'd probably see them up in the shed of people who have caught swords in the past.
Might have taken the otoliths, the ear bones, to know something about the age and demographic of the fish.
Now we're getting into the depths here. All right, shall we move on?
Probably should.
Rhodey, I have heard that they've been doing some good fishing down on the Eyre Peninsula, and I did hear or read, I think in one of the Tackle World reports, that there was a 93 kilo bluefin tuna caught off coffins.
Oh, geez, that is juicy fishing
news.
reports there.
That is some juicy news. Certainly, of course, that's a real credit to the Tackle World Fishing Report. Shane and the team down there.
Yeah, Shane and Alicia.
They do an excellent job. It was probably them that caught it.
That's where I would be going if I was heading over to Port Lincoln and wanted to know the whereabouts of the fish.
Wanted to know the whereabouts, wanted to get some... They got a great range of gear in there. That Tackle World is excellent.
We probably didn't actually talk enough about that, but that was a serious country rural tackle shop.
It was.
That's probably...
Their camping range was excellent. Their Yeti range was amazing.
That's as good as anything you get in a big city.
Yeah.
I might have Melbourne and Sydney covered, I reckon.
They probably would. Good call. All right, Rhodey, have you got anything else for the fishing report, mate? I think that wraps us up.
No, mate, I've been sort of over to Melbourne, whining and dining. I haven't been fishing this weekend.
Fair enough, mate. Good stuff. All right, nice little good fishing report there. Where can the listeners find us?
Diz, Facebook, Instagram, you can jump on there. You can try and defend us from the trolls if you don't mind.
Yeah, shout out to all our defenders.
But get on there, share your photos with us. We want some nice things to post. We want a bit of positivity back on these socials.
Yeah, share some positivity. Share the love.
Jump on Spotify, Apple Music. We would love you to give us a rating, Diz.
Yes.
Subscribe, share the podcast. We just want to grow the love.
Yeah, grow the love. Spread the love. Spread the good word.
All right, Diz, that's been a great episode. Thanks to Tyson for coming on. Thanks to you for joining us, and we'll speak to you in a couple of weeks.
See you guys.
Rhodey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.